other interesting political news, you have the former president of Kenya mocking countries that are upset that Trump cut off foreign aid. Now, this comes to us thanks to Libs at TikTok, in which she says, quote, former president of Kenya mocks countries that are upset that Trump said he wouldn't give blank checks anymore to foreign governments. As youth might say, based.
People the other day crying, oh, I don't know, Trump has removed money. He said he's not giving us any more money. Watu wanalia. Why are you crying? It's not your government, it's not your country. He has no reason to give you anything. I mean, you don't pay taxes in America. He is appealing to his people. Shauri yenu bwana. This is a wake-up call for you to say, okay, what are we going to do to help ourselves? Instead of crying, tujiulize, what are we going to do? Haya ametoa hiyo pesa, sasa tutafanya namna gani jameni? What are we going to do? Yeah? To support ourselves. Because nobody is going to continue holding out a hand there to give you. It is time for us to use our resources for the right things. We are the ones who are using them for the wrong things. People.
Based. And that got 26 million views and 303,000 likes, going, as youth might say, viral to say the least. With one of the first comments coming from Zachary Heron saying, quote, can we trade him for AOC? Getting 18,000 likes. You have D saying, wow, a rare sort of honesty. Very rare indeed, getting 2.8 thousand likes. Paul Zupa says, this guy gets it. We are not the world's piggy bank, getting 2.5 thousand likes, which, historically speaking, we have. Part of it, I understand the rationale of some politicians saying we need to give the US dollar to all these countries because then they will buy products and services using the US dollar. And they rationalize saying, well, that's a way we can try to more stabilize the global dollar. But you're also printing money on basically nothing and causing more and more inflation that hurts Americans. But yeah, you also have Cool Christian Engineer saying, quote, sorry, sir, it's time for America to be first. And it's a picture of Trump that says, let's put America first again, getting 112. So you get 113 likes. Jefferson's, interesting. Jefferson's Violin says, quote, I like this man. Kenya is a relatively peaceful and in the tourist areas and a beautiful country, or so I've heard. Would it be awesome if Americans started to take more vacations there and helping their tourism industry, getting 859 likes, which it might help a little bit, but there are only a couple places on the planet that could really sustain themselves with tourism being like a majority of their GDP. And I mean, even when you look at places like Hawaii, I mean, how should they really contribute to our GDP? Not much, but their state is mostly tourism when you look at, all the dollars generated there. You also have Sentinel saying, quote, even foreign leaders understand why Americans have been saying for years, taxpayer money should serve the people who actually pay the taxes. No more blank checks, no more endless handouts. America first finally gained 2.3 thousand likes, which, yeah, it's also so really depressing to think of how much the government steals from us. I mean, of every dollar we earn, at the end of the day, how much is left for us? If we were to sit down and calculate that, there'd be a revolution tomorrow, or we'd be really depressed. Think about it. You got income tax, sales tax, alcohol tax, tobacco tax, gasoline tax, telecom tax, inheritance tax, capital gains tax, property tax. That's just, there's so many, it's criminal. It's even more payroll taxes. The Ponzi scheme and Social Security. One of the most asinine things would be taxes when they tax the money multiple times. So you get an income, pay income tax. If you want to give money to a friend or someone else, then they got to claim that as their income and it's taxed yet again. It is criminal how much they steal from us. And how much do we get? How much of a benefit do you get directly from the federal government or local government? How much are you really getting of all the taxes we're paying? How much are you really benefiting at the end of the day? It is criminal how such a large percentage they take. Federal tax is 30 to 40%. 35. Some states, it's up to 13%. Texas has an 8.25% sales tax. It is ridiculous, to say the least. You also have David Sullivan, pronouns prosecute Fauci, saying, quote, the Trump effect is what winning looks like. You have a little AI-generated video of the girl that cried like a child in 2016 when Trump won. And her head flies off like a rocket. And there's a bunch of those that got 252 likes. Christopher Fischel says, quote, If I recall correctly, that guy's wife owns or owned an apartment complex building with UN dollars for the poor. The UN money is an upscale graded community in Nurabai, and then the Kenyan government transferred the property to his wife. Source documentary, Good Fortune. Interesting. Yeah, don't get me started on the UN and all the money they steal while disarming law-abiding good citizens around the globe. Last Day with You says, quote, former Kenyan president out there hitting the world leaders out of the park with his classic, why are you mad? That's not even your dad. Getting 559 likes. You also have the Red Post saying, quote, foreign aid is the biggest scam ever conceived, getting 3,000 likes. You also have Side-Eyed saying, quote, Kenya is based AF. They are also going after Gates. Someone please tell them to add Fauci, getting 49 likes. Someone by the name of Someone Important says what? They say, quote, I like this guy. He's funny and his message is absolutely on point. He knows it has to be Kenya first. Stop being a welfare country and making yourselves great again. Getting 44 likes. Which, yeah, if you look at the long-term history of countries and recipients of foreign aid, not too dissimilar from welfare, I mean, sometimes you think you're doing good, but you're just incentivizing bad behavior, which I would argue is actually bad morally and fiscally as well. Valerie Brooks also says, I met a pastor who was Kenyan. He said the same thing. He thought Kenya will be better off without U.S. foreign aid. Then they would have resources, education, and strong people. They can excel, getting 326 likes. Lug Life Lago says, quote, Donald will call this guy after seeing this getting 156 likes. Hercules says, quote, how shocking that putting the America First motives other countries to help themselves and put their people first. No more dependency. Self-sufficiency is the new norm. Getting 664. Make it 665 likes. Make Men Great Again says, quote, the former president of Kenya gets it. Trump doesn't owe foreign governments anything, getting 687 likes. And neither do you and I. Because remember, some of that money is our money. It is beyond ridiculous. One more. Make 1984 Fiction Again. Exceptional profile name since, yeah, it's sad how much modern society reflects that book, if not worse, when you look at the dystopian hell of the government being big and all-encompassing. Great book by George Orwell. Everyone should be required to read it. Now, he says, quote, if the majority of Americans could see it this way, we wouldn't be such debt. Getting 54 likes. Yeah. It even blows my mind that we give foreign aid to all these countries across the globe, while we ourselves have $36 trillion in debt. We now spend more on the interest payments of that debt than we spend on defense. And for decades, it's been a cliche of people saying we spend too much on defense and, way too much money, which, I would argue you probably want to have a strong military and, the best technology in terms of, there's a reason all the top defense contractors are headquartered in the United States and make the coolest and awesomest of weapons. Good deterrence from people trying to invade us and mess with us. But people used to rally on you spend too much. We spend more, not on the loan. It's just the interest, which would scare the absolute bejesus out of everyone. And yet, we need to cut away benefits, but even Trump, they won't touch that because then you lose a lot of votes. But yeah, we need to radically trim the fat from the budget. And some of that is, the things people are too scared to talk about, like Social Security being a scam, a Ponzi scheme when you get rid of, and all other welfare that is not sustainable. So hopefully this message spreads across the globe and more countries want to become self-sufficient. You'd have to be, you would really be undoing decades of dependency and that mindset and, lifestyle. But let me know, do you think that's possible? And then do you think our money should be going to countries that in many cases we actually don't do business with and that you and I don't have any direct benefit from? Let me know your thoughts in the comments because, as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you can click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.